Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you all here with me today. Happy Thursday. So today I am going to be playing in my little notebook that I've been doing my vintage collaging in. It's my vintage glue book. I'm using images from my Remind magazine, which is a nostalgia type magazine from like the 50s to the 90s. And then I'm also using images that I harvested from yesterday's video from a 1973 magazine. So it was really freaking old. It was a really old magazine. But not that old, right, ladies? We're not that old. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So I cut out a bunch of stuff today that I harvested yesterday, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to play with them. So I decided that in this glue book, I'm going to add the vintage, like legit vintage magazine images, as well as the stuff from the Remind magazine, which is pictures of vintage things. So it's going to be really cool. And in one of the pages that I do today, I mix it up. I use a little bit of the Remind magazine ephemera and a little bit of the vintage magazine ephemera. So yeah, I'm really having fun with this. I think it's going to be really awesome when it's all done to look through. So today I'm doing one page in here and I'm doing my cover. That's what I'm working on right now. I just love this lady. And then the quote that I'm gluing at the bottom there says, "She conked out, but her hair held up." That was actually connected to this page. It was at the top. I had to cut it off. And I'm going to end up covering the part that says "but." So really all you see is "she conked out, her hair held up," which is fine because you don't need the "but." We don't need no "but." So anyways, I'm saying a lot. I'm sorry, guys. I am so exhausted. I did not sleep well last night, and Shermie is not feeling well. Actually, both the dogs aren't doing so great, but Shermie especially. I'm wondering if we got a bad batch of food, so I'm going to have to look into that. I've been taking care of him all day today, and I did not sleep well on top of that, so I'm exhausted. Anyways, I digress again. So I'm adding that image, and then I'm adding some fabric that I've just had in my stash for like literally years. So I'm finally using it, and I just tore off a piece, I don't know, about 3 inches, 2.5, something like that. And I'm using Fabri-Tac glue to glue it down. Now, some people don't like Fabri-Tac because of the smell. It's kind of got a strong smell. It doesn't really bother me at all. I use it pretty quick and then I'm done. So it's not like I'm sniffing fumes or anything like that. But if you've never used it before, it does kind of have, kind of like E6000, if you've ever used that glue, kind of has that strong chemical smell. But once it dries, I don't smell it anymore. So I'm using that because it really adheres the fabric to whatever I'm using, so it's not going to come up. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to be adding a little bit of trim on top of that once I'm all done. I was really struggling. Like, I had the hardest time with my glue. It just was not coming out. And then I ended up finally, after squeezing the bottle to death, after sticking something in the little nozzle part to see if there was a clog, I ended up just cutting off more of the tip, and then it worked better. But I've had my Fabri-Tac glue for years. It still works, but it's probably getting old. I don't know. So I had to fight with the bottle a little bit. Ultimately, I won. Nikki won, Fabri-Tac 0. So there's that. And this is that heart trim that I got during the Valentine's Day season at Dollar Tree. Super cute. I really like it. And I don't know why I decided to go with white. I have cream. In fact, my friend Eileen just sent me a bunch in Happy Mail, and I was going to use that. But there's just so much brown and cream going on in this book already that I just needed some white. So that's what I did there. And then the dots, some of the dots in my fabric are white as well. So I just, I kind of thought they would tie in together. And, if it ends up bothering me, I can always kind of stamp over it a little bit with some of my archival ink and make it look a little bit more dingy. But I like it. I like the white. It looks pretty. So I just added another little strip of Fabri-Tac glue right there. And then I'm just pressing down my trim. And I don't know what was wrong with me, but I just could not get it straight and it was driving me nuts. And finally, I just gave up. And I was like, you know what? If it's not perfect, it's not perfect, which is hard for me. If you've been with me for any amount of time, you know I like my things to be straight and perfect. So this is where I lifted it up and realized, nope, not how I want it. So I just pulled it up, stuck it back down. So that's what I'm working with right here. I'm leaving it at that. And it looks pretty good. I really like how the cover turned out. It's super cute. And I could add more to it later too if I want to. You know, like a couple flowers or something. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I might just leave it. But we'll see. I could always glue some little flowers or something on the spine there. Something cute. And so the back here is nothing fancy, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, the fabric stayed, and I don't know, it just looked unpolished right there. Is that what I mean to say? Not finished. It looked not finished, I guess. So I'm just using a little bit of washi tape here. Doesn't really match, doesn't really not match. It's just what I found that I thought I would go with. It's just cream with some gold flakes in it. I believe this was given to me in a Happy Mail by my friend Ariel. So I been itching to use that, and it, you know, I figured with the cream and the gold it would look really nice. So it's just the back, but I really wanted something that didn't look horrible, you know. And I love that washi tape with the gold flecks. So cute. So now I'm going to be working on my glue page, and I decided instead of stamping on the background in this one, I'm going to add some dots from, this is a little bingo dauber. Well, they call them dot markers. And I got this at the Dollar Tree. So it was $1.25. There's a ton of ink in it. It's going to last forever. I think it was a smoking price. The downside is they only have red, black, blue, orange, green, and purple. There's no like yellows or pinks or anything like that, which is fine. I like the color palette. And I decided to go in with the red, and it's kind of a little bit more of a pinky red. Maybe like a magenta. I don't know. It looks really red right here, but I feel like as it dries, it gets a little lighter. And these are markers, but they're very juicy. So I decided to use my, oh my gosh, you guys. You know when I'm tired because my brain, the fog is so bad. Anyways, I dried it, okay? I used my heat tool. There we go. I used my heat tool and I dried it. So here's what we're going with on this page. This is going to be a Coca-Cola page inspired. And so there's that huge Coke bottle that I found at the end of my harvesting video yesterday, and I was dying to use it. Nothing like screams nostalgia like a Coca-Cola anything to me. It all looks vintage and cool to me. I love it. So anyways, what I'm using in this is some of the images from the Remind magazine and some stuff that I got yesterday out of my actual 1973 vintage magazine. So I like that I'm able to incorporate a little bit of both. And I decided that I didn't want just the red circles. And I grabbed that new gold paint pen that I have. I got it at Hobby Lobby. Let me see what it's called. It is called Metallic Paint Marker. It looks like it's just their brand. Nothing fancy. I think it was like $2 or something, maybe $3 at the top at most, but it's really cool. I really like it. It's very shiny. I know it's hard to tell here how shiny it is, but at the end, I'm going to show you a photo of what the page looks like up close, and then another photo at an angle so you can kind of see the shine of the gold. It looks really cool in person. And when I got done with this, I was thinking, you know, I wish I would have used some of the black marker dauber, like the bingo dauber. I have a black one. I wish I had incorporated some black dots, but ultimately it looks good the way it worked out. But I kind of wish now that I would have added just a few of the black dots too. So I'm going back in now, and I'm just adding a few more dots in the spaces. Most of this is going to get covered up, so I'm just doing a few dots to start with, and then at the end I can always go back through and add more wherever the blank spots are. Love the new look of Coke. Oh man. I love these magazines. Oh my gosh. I love your guys' comments from yesterday's video. Oh, so funny. And you guys, I'm serious. I really did not know that women pinned their Kotex into their underwear. I just don't feel like sharp objects should be anywhere near that area. But I get it, like I digress. But yeah, I didn't know that. And I don't know why I never even considered it. And then the whole belt thing, like what? I'm so glad that by the time I came around to that age, that everything had adhesive and we didn't need pins and needles and belts and whatever kind of torture devices they had out there at the time. So I feel for all of you that had to use those. That's crazy. But how fascinating, right? Like I love learning new things. And I just think that it's so fun to look through these magazines and see how far we've come, how many things have changed. And it's just really interesting. Super interesting. And then I'm so sorry, I can't remember who it was now, but somebody made a comment about, well, a lot of you made a comment about the hot dog meals, about how repulsive they were. I agree. But somebody mentioned that a lot of people did that because hot dogs were very affordable at the time. I mean, they still kind of are, really have gone up in price, but I get it. I understand that that's what people had to do. Especially with like a one income household and during the times and everything, hot dogs were cheaper. So I get it. And then I was looking through the magazine images today as I was fussy cutting them, and it was talking about, I can't remember which product it was, but it was like, use this on your bargain meats. And I'm like, bargain meats? Is that like low quality hot dog meat? That bargain meats just didn't ring well with me. That just sounds so nasty. I don't know. My mom always taught me, she's like, listen, I always went grocery shopping with her. It was like mine and her time. And she told me one time, she goes, listen, when you go grocery shopping for your own family, she's like, if you're going to spend a little bit more money on something, do it on meat. Like go for a better quality meat if you can. That's something my mom always taught me. And I do. I go for, I'm not buying like high-end steaks and stuff on the regular, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I digress. I'm just turning my page over and just kind of smoothing down the back to make sure I got everything without tearing everything that's on the other side. And then I'm going to go through and kind of ink around the edges and add a few more dots into the blank spaces. Now, when I first started doing those red dots, I thought I'm adding way too many. But then when I put stuff on top, it's like, wow, there really wasn't as many as I thought, because obviously you're covering up a lot, but it doesn't look as crowded as I thought it might. So I wanted to add some more little dots in there just to bring it all together. Ultimately, I really love how this page turned out. Almost everything is Coke related, Coca-Cola related, not like Coke. You guys, I'm off my rocker. This is how you know I'm tired. All right, guys, that is going to conclude today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me play in my little vintage glue book and, putting a little cover to this glue book. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.